There are men and there are men. And may God help us to find good men, or may God help good men to find us, whichever one, whichever pattern you people prefer. I was just seated here when I remembered a particular week during my postings at the hospital during my internship here. And that whole week that was in that ward, I was not okay. Because every day there was just always something that would, make me want to hate men.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amaomi, aka Petite Diva, and in this video we are discussing men's behavior when their partner are in labor or after labor. Now, this video is inspired by some set of videos that I saw. Now, the first one is a video showing what a guy was doing when his partner was in labor. The second one was a video of what a guy did after his partner just gave birth.
No, when you just have a baby.
No, to your left, to your left.
And the third one is a passionate rant of a healthcare worker / student talking about her experience when she was posted to the postnatal, antenatal, and labor ward of a hospital.
There are men and there are men. And may God help us to find good men, or may God help good men to find us, whichever one, whichever pattern you people prefer. I was just seated here when I remembered a particular week during my postings at the hospital during my internship here. And that whole week that was in that ward, I was not okay. Because every day there was just always something that would, make me want to hate men. Why? I was in postnatal ward. This is a very sensitive ward. I believe that, you see, antenatal, postnatal, labor ward, those wards are really sensitive. Like, this is life or death situation. Pregnancy is a very dangerous, it's the most dangerous physiological condition. Like, it's not pathological. It's something that your body is built for. Do you understand? But at the same time, it can kill you. It's that dangerous. And the importance of having a supportive, loving, understanding, emotionally intelligent partner should never be like undervalued or disregarded or pushed to the side. It is very vital. Because I will never understand why your wife is in the hospital. She just finished pushing out you people's child. And for some reason, there is a disagreement and you find the need to shout at her in the ward. See, the postnatal ward is a very vulnerable place. The hospital itself is a place where you get to experience people in their vulnerable state, because when people are ill, a lot of stuff just happens. And I was just so sad. Why are you shouting at this woman? She's not even, like, this is less than 48 hours after she just finished pushing out your child. And you find the need to shout. Whatever people have issues with, you cannot go and solve it at home. Or you cannot sit down and speak in a calm tone to discuss it with her. You shouldn't even be discussing anything apart from how to ensure that you are with her till she recuperates properly during this period. But you find that the best time to be discussing your family problems and be shouting in a public ward where everybody is seated, everybody is looking. Like, why? And another one now, you're shouting at your wife when they present you with the hospital bill. And then you're not shouting that immediately she leaves this place, so she should better go and find a job, because this money is kinikon. You didn't know she was unemployed before people started popping out children. Suddenly you know that now. You didn't know she was unemployed when she was still pregnant. When people have started looking for ways to make this money, to put stuff together in preparation for the child. You see, birth preparedness in this country is zero. Because you had 9 months to start preparing. It's like just prepare for the highest price possible. And now you're not shouting at her in the world. Someone that has not even finished recovering. She has not even gotten herself. She's not even going to finish recovering in the next 6 months. Mentally gone, she's not okay. Do you know how many women end up dealing with postpartum depression? This is a physiological thing. It's going to follow. It's going to follow. So the support of your family, the support of your spouse, the person that put you in this position is really vital. And then you find the need to be disregarding your wife and disrespecting her in public. That just goes a long way to show what happens behind closed doors. And why? No, why? But at the same time, I'm not going to now say, oh, some men, all men are horrible. Because in this same word, you will see people that, you will know that they are loved at home and they know how to love. You will know it. You will see them and just be like, this is just so wonderful to see. Do you know that even the presence of your partner, of your family, when you're in this kind of situation, it goes a long way in helping you recuperate. People with happier families, right? You will see them, they'll be shining. One day after delivery, they are smiling. Because everybody that is coming to their bedside is happy, they're smiling, you know what I'm saying? But you people that are angry, the wife is already thinking of how she's going to suffer now. There was someone that they said, oh, your wife is going to end up having CS, right? And then it's like that means she'll not be able to come back home today, oh, clinical. And I'm like, clearly, she will not be able to come back today. Even if she has vaginal delivery, she's not still going to come back home today. So I don't understand. He's not saying that, what is he going to eat? What are you going to eat? Is that food that will kill you? What are you going to eat is what you're concerned about. A woman is about to undergo a major surgery. People are dying every day from pregnancy and related, and the complications related to pregnancy and delivery. And you're worried about what you're going to eat tonight. See, some men are wicked. Wicked.
Now, for the men that are playing games while their partner is in labor, what's the color of your problem? Like, seriously, are you anxious? Are you nervous? Are you, I don't know, what is going on in your brain that you feel like playing games, your video games at that point in time is appropriate? Like, I don't get it. I'm sorry. Please, somebody explain it to me, because I don't get it. I know that labor can be long, but your partner is trying to give birth to your child, and she's not finding it funny while she's in labor. Instead of you concentrating on her, talking to her, or doing things, sharing things together or something, you are playing games. Like, when you are packing the bag to go to the hospital, you put your Xbox or PS5 or whatever and decided to be playing it on the hospital. Like, immediately you enter the labor ward, the labor room, you hooked your game to the TV that was meant for the woman to be playing game. Like, what? Somebody has to explain it. If you can explain why they do it, please leave a comment in the comment section so that I can understand why they are doing that. Now, the second guy that was playing his video games after she gave birth, in the description of the video, the partner said that the nurses came severally to tell him to tone it down. Probably was making noise and doing and all the exclamation that they're doing when they are playing their games. And they were telling him to tone it down, that he's in a hospital. And he was saying that he won't be able to cope with his son, his first child, his first son's birth without the games. And I'm like, hey! It's in America, because I know myself. If I was one of the nurses on the floor and he kept on making noise and being a disturbance to other people on that floor, after telling him like 3 times, different nurses going to meet him 3 times, and he does not shut it down, he does not tone it down, he does not he does not remove that nonsense, I will go and call the security. Straight up, hospital security. Please warn him or drag him out. One of the above must happen. Because you cannot be a nuisance and start telling me, oh, without the game, you cannot cope with your child's birth. I don't understand. What do you mean? Now, the healthcare worker that was ranting, she's actually from Nigeria, and it's not surprising to me some of the things she said, because like I said, I'm a pharmacist, and I've even had, like, I won't say personal, but I know some people that sort of behavior from their partner has occurred. There was a specific case where the girl was in labor and her partner was like shouting, and I say, why are you shouting? Why are you screaming? You're still at this stage. You're not supposed to be feeling so much pain. You're not supposed to be doing like that. You're not supposed to be doing this. And he kept on antagonizing the lady when she was in labor, to the fact that the doctor got fed up with his nonsense. And I think when he now started getting aggressive, he threw his phone on the wall and smashed it. I think the doctor now walked him out and was like, don't disturb my patient, don't be a burden to my patient at this point in time. Just like how the nurse said she had to tell the husband of one of them that if you misbehave, I will throw you out of the ward. That was what happened. The doctor had to walk the guy out of the labor ward. And at one point, it was now observed that the lady could not go forward with delivery, that they had to do an emergency lower section cesarean section, now CS. And the partner of the lady was ranting and shouting, no, she can't do it. Why does she want to do CS? Why? And he was just ranting and refused to give consent. And the lady had to eventually write and sign the consent form herself. Like, he refused to sign it because it was like she should do the delivery, even if it was going to cost her her life. Like, and I'm like, what the heck? Now, I thought that was the peak of the rubbish that some men can do, until I eventually found out that some men, some hours, some hours after their wives have given birth, they actually expect their wife to perform some acts. Like, I found out that some men would have with their wives while in the labor ward, in the labor room, like hours after the wife just gave birth to their child. And I was like, you want sexual acts just hours after she just gave birth to her whole child? And I'm like, wow. Anyway, I'll talk more about that after we check out people's reaction to some of these behaviors that these men show to their wives while in labor and after labor.
POV, you just had a baby but have a gamer boyfriend.
So this woman said, bring a PS5 into the delivery room and I'm getting up and breaking that shit. Your kid is coming. You should be catering to my needs. You know, you get the point. This man goes, never get women like this pregnant. Your life will be miserable. What's worse is all of the men in the comments like, oh yeah, she's selfish. Then I commented, I'm like, that's exactly why I stopped dating men who play video games, because they be addicted. And you know what? I'll make another video about that, because y'all men, a lot of y'all have serious video game addiction. Like, I need to cut back on the screen time, but we're going to talk about that later. So I commented, I'm like, that's why I stopped dating guys who play the video games. They be addicted. There are women dying in labor, and you spending what could potentially be your last moments with your woman and child on the damn game. That's crazy to me. And that's really how I feel. Like, come on. And that's the thing. People really think because you won't put up with their bullshit that you're going to just die alone. Like, no, there are better people out here than you. Much better. So then he goes, with all due respect, your man has to listen to you. He doesn't have options. A dude like me, I pay all the bills, so you have to do what I say or go be with somebody else. Y'all really think people with standards are lonely? Nah. We're in the relationships we want to be in. Why am I moving around like this? We didn't settle, so we getting what we want, okay? Don't worry about us, okay? Don't worry about us people with high standards. We good. We good. And if you don't mind if your man plays video games while you in labor, then you shouldn't take offense to what I said, because you don't mind, right? I do. can you hold this, please?
Do y'all even like your wives? Your wife is lying in a hospital bed, in labor, getting ready to give birth to your child, and your attention is on video games. And it's not even like, oh, I'm just gonna play a game on my phone to pass a little bit of time. He's playing on the TV in the room. Like, this guy brought, like, his gaming system, his games, his controllers, like, everything to the hospital. Like, that was his priority when they came into the delivery room, making sure he could set up everything. And of course, all the men in the comment section are like, well, yeah, like, delivery is boring. What do you want us to do? I'm not just gonna sit there and twiddle my thumbs while this is happening. I'm sorry you find the birth of your child to be a boring experience. I can guarantee you that your wife does not share those sentiments. Like, based on some of those comments, you would think the wives had to drag their husbands bodily into the delivery room, because none of those men seems like they want to be anywhere near the birth of their child. Like, I'm so sorry that a woman delivering a baby is so boring and uninteresting to you.
People who are used to my feminist content on here might be surprised by my take on this, but I'm really not sure what's wrong with this. For some background, I've given birth 5 times. I chose to do that unmedicated because it was important to me. And I also, for a couple of years in the early 2000s, apprenticed with a midwife and attended and assisted on 28 home births. Obviously, I don't know the whole story here. I haven't seen any follow-ups, but this mom looks pretty comfortable. She looks like she's sleeping, and if she is like the majority of people who give birth in the United States, she's had an epidural. I've seen what it looks like when a woman has her eyes closed in labor and is in pain. That's not what it looks like. So I guess I'm wondering, what is dad supposed to be doing? How is he supposed to be supporting her when she is, by all appearances, just fine, resting comfortably? I think people forget that labor can take a really long time, like hours and sometimes even days. And for the majority of people who give birth, labor doesn't start out as bad as it's going to be. It slowly gets more painful as it goes. So in early labor, there's a lot of times not as much support needed. My ex-husband, the father of my children, was a fantastic labor coach. I absolutely relied on him to help me through the contractions towards the end of labor. But in early labor, I actually spent a lot of that time alone, because that's what worked for me. And when the midwife and I would attend births of someone who had a history of very long labors, or first timers because their labors tended to be longer, a lot of times in the beginning we would ask Dad, can you please go get some sleep so that when we really need you, you're at 100%. If that dad continued playing Call of Duty after mom woke up and needed him, then that's garbage. But I think there's nothing wrong with the parent who is not giving birth bringing things that can occupy their time when there's nothing else for them to do.
You find the need to shout at her in the word.
Please, for more context, check the tag in my caption, go see that video. If you love yourself, maybe it will inspire you to do better and prioritize yourself. Listen, I have said it before and I will say it again. The worst decision you can make in your life as a woman isn't to marry a broke man. It's to marry a stark illiterate. Not just a stark illiterate, an all-rounder, emotionally unintelligent, a man that hates you because you bettered only female children, when at the end of the day, he's responsible for the sex of the child. But he doesn't know that because he's an illiterate. A man that doesn't think betting a child is a big deal and you can die in the process. A man that expects you to enter the kitchen the next day after childbirth. A man that thinks he's doing you a favor by marrying you. A man that thinks because you had a child through CS, you are less of a woman. A man that your presence doesn't motivate to do better for himself and his family. You will cry. Yeah, there are baggages that comes with being broke, but if these were the only options, I would rather go with a broke man than a stark illiterate. First, I was traumatized from watching the video I stitched, so I thought, oh, let me just go on Instagram and see if there's any updates from Wizkid and the video. I mean, because they've been entertaining us for the longest. And then, guess what I saw? A policeman cut off his wife's hand. For what? She collected 3,000 naira from his savings. Fuck. What? And then a mental person is still asking why women would rather be in the woods with a bear than a man.
When you should be on diaper duty, but Call of Duty comes first.
When you just have a baby.
No, she left. She left.
The nurses even came in to tell him keep it down. He couldn't survive his son's birth without his Xbox. That's his firstborn son, by the way. Firstborn. And people were on his ass like a diaper rash in the comments, y'all. People are calling for the red flag guy. Somebody said the nurses are talking about him so bad. You know they are. And then Lord, the third comment, congrats on your 2 children. And apparently this isn't just a him thing. It's becoming more common for these newer age parents, right? The millennial and Gen Z parents, to bring gaming systems to play while the significant other is either in labor or recovering with the baby. I don't know how I feel about this, y'all. Like, I feel like it's one thing if both people like to game, but if you bring the gaming system for the purpose of zoning out while everything else is happening around you, mainly the birth of your child, then that just gives me the ick.
When you just have a baby.
No, see left, see left.
Someone in the comment section said congratulations on the 2 children, and that is the absolute most perfect comment. Are you bored, sir? Why is this man behaving like a 12-year-old? What's even worse than this is the original poster left a caption that said the nurses had to come in there and tell him to quiet down. So while the birth of a child is one of the most stressful times for people. I know your child is already here, but somebody else is trying to be giving birth and they might need a serene and calm environment. And here you are yelling, talking about, let's go. Bro, this is not the time. These are the same kind of men that go on to complain. He cries every time I hold him. He only wants you. The baby only wants you. And it's because you failed to take that time to bond with the baby. Instead of bonding with your bros on a video game, you should have been bonding with your child. These moments are precious and you'll never get this time back. I need him to get off of Call of Duty and get on daddy duty immediately.
Now, a lot of people were calling those men out because it's irrational behavior, in my own opinion. The guy that was talking about, oh, don't marry a woman who said, don't marry women like the one that said if you bring a PlayStation or Xbox or whatever to the labor room, that she's going to break it. And it's like, don't marry such kind of woman. And so many people were commenting and saying, that's right, that the woman is not supposed to be so bothered about the games that they are playing, that she's the one in labor and something like that. I'm like, why? Are you all right? Are you all right? What sort of thinking is that? Anyway, like I said, those ones are playing games. Some other people are expecting some acts to be done hours hours after their wives their partners have given birth to their child. Now, I saw this post on X, formerly known as Twitter, and a woman was kind of angry that immediately she gave birth, they've not yet cleaned her up completely. The doctor was already telling her about the different contraceptive options that she could take, she could use at this point in time, at the point that when she just gave birth. And she was angry that the doctor was telling her about contraception when she just gave birth. And so many people are saying the doctor actually did the right thing, because they found out that quite a lot of people, when they come back for their 6 weeks checkup, they are already pregnant. And I'm like, okay, hold up, wait a minute. Most medical practitioners will tell you that you're supposed to abstain for 6 weeks immediately after birth if it's vaginally, and CS I think is longer, so that the body of the woman would have healed completely. So it is after they do the 6 weeks checkup, then the doctor can say, okay, you have healed completely, you can participate in that activity without issues. And you're telling me that you're already pregnant. And so many people, like, oh my God, my mind was blown. So many people were talking about, do you know how many times nurses have walked into some activities going on in the labor ward just hours after the women have given birth? And I'm like, say what? I was surprised as where the comments were coming from. They were coming from US and so many other Western countries that I was like, oh my God. Because it's like in Nigeria, like I said, a lot of the hospitals we have, they have general maternity ward. So you can't do that. I actually saw someone say that her mother, or her mother heard someone, some people in the labor ward doing things when she just gave birth years ago. And I'm like, are you people serious? Are you serious? Is it that bad that you're doing that? Hours after your partner, whatever, just gave birth to your child. Like, you cannot that thing is weird. It's weird to me. Like, you can't even hold yourself for 6 weeks after. Like, hours in the hospital, no shame. Like, it's a shameless entity. Like, my goodness. And the women, just thinking about what the women were going through, but they cannot say anything, they cannot reject, oh my goodness. I had to just leave that thread or whatever, because the comments, there were so many comments, and almost all of them were saying almost the same thing, saying that's why doctors would start telling the patient why they're cleaning up, that these are the options that you have. You can take it now, you can do it now, so that your body can heal, in case you have someone like the people that expect those activities almost immediately after they've given birth. Like, there was one, she said, there was one comment that I think the person said that the woman was in labor and she was performing something on the partner, and I'm like, you say what? That day my mind was just blown. I was triggered, I was angry, I don't even know how to say what I was feeling that day. I was like, these men are useless. They are useless. Because I cannot imagine. Any which way, I don't know what you guys think about this whole topic. Do you think it's not a big deal for men to be playing their video games while their partner is in labor or immediately after birth? Do you think that men shouting on their wives immediately they give birth and being an ass immediately they give birth or during labor is acceptable behavior? Were you surprised by some of the terrible behaviors that some men do while their wives or their partner is in labor or after labor? That was said in this video. I would love to hear your thoughts about this whole discussion about men and their behavior during labor and after labor. So please leave your comments in the comment section. If you have any stories to share, please leave it in the comment section so that we can get this discussion popping. Now, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you are not yet subscribed and you like videos such as this, please consider subscribing by clicking on the red button that says subscribe, and don't forget to click on the bell notification icon by its side so that you're notified anytime I upload videos. Now, with all that said, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.